This is a review of my EBL smart charger and discharger. Right, it's the EBL 906. It's cadmium and nickel metal hydro battery charger and discharger. I'm discharging some nickel cadmium batteries. I've had this charger a while, and I have to say this is a really good charger because it discharges and charges using on 300 milliamps, and these nickel cadmium batteries are 350 milliamps, and this charges and charges are 300 milliamps. And it's EBL LCD super quick universal charger, and when it reaches the top on fully charges, it reaches what's called trickle charge, which is where it keeps the battery topped up, which is good. So when it's fully charged, it trickle charges, which means it's keeping the battery topped up until you remove it. And it's got an overcharge protection, over voltage protection, short circuit protection and all that. And yep, but if one battery is discharged, it waits for all the batteries to discharge before it starts charging, which is a plus. I'm recording this in 480p instead of 720p. I have the option to switch between standard definition and high definition. High definition ready, 720p. HD ready, which is 720, not full HD or Ultra HD. This is on my Samsung Galaxy J3 2016. I'm recording in 480p standard or VGA. EBL, which is fine. It says discharge. Then once it's all charged, it will say charge. If there's an error, like it knows if you're trying to charge alkaline, and it will stop charging and it will display error. Even on zinc batteries, or if there's a fault with the battery, it will stop charging and switch to error, and it will disable all the charging. Okay, it's taken a while because the batteries are 350 milliamps, so it's slightly slower because it discharges and charges at 300 milliamps. Which is okay. It's got an LCD screen. I got this because I liked the design and the LCD. 2 is on 1 bar battery life, and 2 is on 2 bars. Maximum battery charge and discharge capacities for batteries, which is ideal because I got these batteries from my Binatone Action 850s, which the battery packs in them were dead. And unfortunately, they were rechargeable, so I thought might as well buy this battery charger with nickel cadmium 350 milliamp AAA batteries. It's in an 8-pack or more, I think. I'm not sure. They came in a 4-pack, and I chose to get 8-pack because 4 plus 4 is 8. So altogether, one walkie-talkie takes 4 and the other takes 4. So altogether that makes 8. If you get 2 4-packs, that makes an 8-pack. And it will take a while for it to fully discharge, to switch to charging. With nickel cadmium batteries, if you charge them when the batteries is just down to 2 bars, it's got what's called a memory effect, and it will only charge to that point. So I would recommend you discharge them first before you fully charge them, so it will erase the memory effect. As you can see, one battery is empty and it's still discharging. With the memory effect, if like you charged it when it was on 2 bars, it will only charge up to that point on nickel cadmium. That's why I discharge them first, so they all empty before I charge them, to erase the memory effect, so it remembers that it was 3 so the memory effect will remember it was fully charged to 3 bars, not 2 bars. Okay, 3 bars is fully charged, 2 bars is low, 1 bar is very low, and when it's empty like that means it's fully discharged or dead. 1 bar, 2 bar, 2 bar says discharge, but an abbreviation of it is then in a minute, once they all go empty, it will automatically switch to charging. That blue button switches between charging and discharging. When you turn it on, it automatically switches to charging mode when you switch it on at the wall. So on the cadmium, when you first switch it on straight, very quickly press the discharge/charge button to fully discharge them before you charge them. Always discharge them before you charge them, or the memory effect will only remember like it was charged up to that point, let's say. If it was only charged, the memory effect, well, remember that it was only charged up to 1 bar, not full, if you don't switch it to discharging mode using the blue button, which won't be good because it will ruin your battery life and it won't last very long in the device you want it for. This is in 480p VGA, so the quality won't be as good as 720p, but that's to save bandwidth and uploading time. On our internet we used to have limited, so that's why limited internet, that's why I switched it to VGA 480. Now we've got unlimited, but I've still got it on 480p, which I'm going to keep it on because standard 480p is run down to 720p, which is okay. So it's still standard definition, but it's still better quality than 360 and 240 and 144p. 480 and 440p is fine, but yeah, it's not as good as HD, but it's similar to 720p, but not similar to 1080p or 4K or 8K or 1440p HD. This standard def is before HD. HD has been around for a long time, since VHS tape days in America. The first ever HD was 1080i, interlaced. Yes. And yeah, and then it switched to 1080p. 480p is one down from 720p, so it's still good quality, but not as good as 720 or 1080 or 1440p HD or 4K or 8K or 9K, which is fine. This is a low-end phone, which is fine. Discharge, 2 of them is on 1 bar of battery and 1 is on 2 bars of battery. It says discharge, then once they all are empty, once all of them are empty, it will automatically switch to charging mode, which is what we want. So you don't have to press the button manually, which is a plus for this. There's no cons for this. It's got a standard figure of 8 charger with a 13 amp fuse fitted, which is good. It says on the plug unbreakable, which is good, so it's a heavy duty plug. This is your figure of 8 connection, which is just 2 pins. Okay. It's taken a while, but it's fine because this charge only charges and discharges at 300 milliamps, and these batteries are 350, so it will take a bit longer. These will take ages because these are higher capacity. These are 1100 milliamps an hour, so this will take ages. this will take more hours than 350 milliamps an hour, because these have got bigger capacity, because these are nickel metal hydride, and nickel metal hydride has higher capacity than nickel cadmium. But with nickel metal hydride, they lose more charge over months over months of not being used. Nickel metal hydride lose more charge than nickel cadmium over months of unused. So after a few months this will be dead, and after a few months those will be just low. They won't lose as much charge as nickel metal hydride, and it's much more easier to overcharge nickel metal hydride. Very easy to overcharge nickel metal hydride. Nickel cadmium, you can't even physically overcharge nickel cadmium, but you can overcharge nickel metal hydride, which is once it's overcharged, when you take it out of the charger and use it, the battery will just die when you just turn on the device. Nice. That's what overcharging means. If the battery is dead for a long time, it will struggle charging. So it would be better to not let the battery die and leave it for months, because it will take ages to charge. Okay, 2 of them is empty and 2 of them is on one bar, so once they all go to empty, but it will automatically switch to charging mode. EBL, that's your plug, standard 13 amp 3-pin UK plug. What we have in the UK, which is, we have 240 volts in the UK, which is very high and dangerous, so you have to be very careful. That's why it's a legal requirement for 13 amp plugs to have a fuse in, just in case. You can get 5 amp plugs, which is good, which has round prongs. It has round prongs like this. It's not square prong, rectangular prongs like this. It has round prongs if it's 3 amp or 5 amp. Okay, those are usually used for low voltage appliances like lighting sometimes, but you would have to get a special plug what fits those special plugs. And that's the end of my video.